Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met with Tesla and SpaceX CEO, as well as Trump paid Elon Musk at Blair House on the 13th of February. The meeting has sparked interest in the conversation between the two, with Donald Trump hinting Musk might have talked about doing business in India. Elon Musk has a long history with India, considering SpaceX's previous collaborations, launching satellites for ISRO, as well as Indian startups, providing a boost for India's private space sector. Musk has long eyed the Indian market for its massive potential for his telecom and EV businesses as well, hoping to launch Starlink and Tesla in the country. While Musk and the Indian government have previously had disagreements over regulations and concessions, with Musk and Modi's latest meeting and exchange of gifts, all eyes are trained on what it might bring. So what could this meeting mean for India is the big question. Joining us live is Adit Kothari, founding member of the Indic Society. Mayurakshi Das, founder and CEO, Alexa AI, joins us live. Professor Madhav Nalapath, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian, is also with us on the broadcast. Professor Nalapath, apart from, of course, the all-important meeting with Donald Trump, all eyes were on this meeting that Narendra Modi held with Elon Musk. How do you believe it transpired? Professor Nalapath, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. Look, I would like to say that people in several countries across the periphery of China, although not in India, have expressed concern about Elon Musk, because the perception is that he is so tightly linked to China. Well, and that he will influence Trump in a pro-China direction. I think that is not correct. First of all, Elon Musk knows very well that the future of any US company in China is not very bright, and products made in China, high technology products made in China, are not going to find a market outside China, Iran, Russia, Pakistan, and a few other countries. So I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the case. But of course, the fact of the matter is that Musk has some unorthodox ideas, and some of them are pretty good. For example, the way that USAID has been exposed as having created regime instability and regime change, and been up to so much mischief across so many countries in the world, is a revelation. But for Donald Trump, frankly, we would not have really got the full details of these activities. I think Musk has been very influential in trying to dismantle USAID. My own personal view is that configuring USAID may be better, because dismantling a federal agency will create panic among federal workers throughout the country, and that might affect Trump's chances for ensuring a solid Republican majority in the US House and Senate in the 2026 midterm elections. As far as India is concerned, yes, Musk is looking at coming to India. Earlier he was rebuffed, because the fact is he wanted basically made in China EVs with the Tesla brand name to come to be sold in India. That's basically dumping by another name of Chinese products, as though we don't have enough Chinese products being dumped on India legally and illegally. That is the reason why his project for getting India a better country where there are better sales of Tesla did not work out. Now, if he rectifies that, and if he makes sure that the cars are not made in China, but made in a friendly country, that's great. And frankly, Elon Musk would be well advised to shift some of that manufacturing to India. India has a vast reserve of skilled and trained manpower, and all it requires is about 3 to 6 months of on-the-job training for them to be as good as any other worker, and within a year, really better than any other worker, and they are very cost competitive, much less expensive, for example, than Chinese workers are in 2025. So I think Musk could be well advised to shift some of his production to India. Possibly that kind of discussion will take place, or has already taken place. But Musk is a practical man. He's a practical businessman. And today in business, you cannot do well in business. In fact, you cannot even survive in business unless you have a clear grasp of geopolitics. And anybody who forgets that is going to find business very, very difficult to carry out. So Musk is a very shrewd businessman. So I'm quite confident that he will understand that China is no longer the opportunity, it is India, Uday.
Do you see then the entry perhaps of Starlink, Tesla into India in the near future?
Look, I have no problem, provided security concerns are addressed, of Starlink and Tesla entering into India. I think the United States is a friendly country. The Prime Minister is returning from the United States. He has made the relationship even stronger under President Trump, Trump 2.0 and Modi 3.0. The US-India relationship will be very, very strong. So I see absolutely no problem in that happening, except that, of course, it will not have exclusive rights on any such activity. Other agencies will be involved. And if it helps startups, if it helps connectivity in India, especially in remote corners, and if that data is not allowed to be leaked to hostile countries, I see no problem at all in Starlink being permitted to in India.
Okay, let me also in fact quickly rope in at this point Adit Kothari. Adit Kothari, this was a very crucial visit which in fact happened before that Donald Trump visit. Interestingly, Elon Musk was then back in the White House later when Donald Trump was introducing Prime Minister Modi to his his cabinet, is of course the secretaries and the people who of course have assumed those top position. Musk was back there all smiles when he met with Prime Minister Modi again. But on the sidelines of Prime Minister Modi's visit, this one-on-one meeting between Musk and Modi, what could be the fallout of it?
When you look at the meeting between Musk and Modi, this is not the first time they're meeting. And Prime Minister Modi has been trying to lure Musk to sort of invest in India. Why it didn't happen the last time around, is a mystery. But this time I think we're a bit more optimistic, given the concerns that he had raised. When I say he, I'm talking about Elon Musk, where he wanted to basically first introduce the Tesla as a fully imported vehicle and then sort of reverse engineer into manufacturing into India, and that is something that India seems to have now accommodated. But I think where my issue is with regards to Musk is where he wants to extract a complete pound of flesh, and Starlink is that concern for me, because there are number of security concerns, and also as a product, Starlink is possibly not great for India because the speed is an issue, and given the kind of the galvanization of terrorists across the length and breadth of India and in the border areas, Starlink can be an issue because of the security concerns and there being no ways of actually monitoring them. Where I think we will actually benefit largely from this particular meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Musk is with regards to the space programs that India has, the space exploration programs. The Falcon 9 rocket technology is something that seems extremely interesting, and that will make a lot of sense for India to sort of collaborate with in order to expand their sort of space programs. But one thing that I did want to mention, which Professor Nalapat also sort of briefly touched upon, people like, say, for example, if we take Olaf Scholz, the German Chancellor, who was very candid, very expressive when he came out to demonstrate his outrage with regards to Donald Trump's association with Musk and the conflict of interest. I have a massive problem with the hypocrisy there, because you demonstrate your outrage with regards to Musk, but yet then when you have a Soros who has very explicit funding patterns, that seems to be acceptable to all of these characters because it suits their politics. So that hypocrisy is extremely worrying for me. Uday.
All right. Do you then believe that there could be possible areas of cooperation between SpaceX, ISRO, perhaps? We spoke about Tesla and Starlink earlier with Professor Nalapat. What about SpaceX, Adit?
I think SpaceX is definitely one of those areas where collaboration is definitely going to happen. It's happened in the past as well, where Elon Musk and the Indian space program have collaborated. They've launched satellites together. So that is an area where both will find profitable, both will find beneficial. Uh, to collaborate and work together, especially because India provides, skilled labor at a certain cost, which is much advantageous to someone like an Elon Musk, who's extremely calculative and very cost driven.
All right. Mayurakshi Das, let me rope you in here on this meeting between Musk and Modi. What do you believe perhaps was on the table and what do you believe was top of the mind of both individuals in this meeting?
Right, Uday. So I think it was not a meeting of, you know, stalwart prime minister who the world is looking up to, and Elon Musk from Tesla. I think it was a meeting of two highly acute, extremely intelligent, and I say it as a compliment, business-minded. Uh, two people. They would have definitely discussed the best innovations, the best collaborations, keeping in mind, of course, the two nations concerned and benefit and job opportunities to millions of people as a byproduct of it. So, if you ask me, more than, Prime Minister Modi meeting Donald Trump, which is more, on a diplomatic side, I think his meeting with Elon Musk would have really opened a lot of doors for us here and opened up a bunch of collaborations. Also, I think, if I dare say, the personalities of both in terms of really being go-getters and taking very quick, agile decisions is common to both these extremely intelligent and gifted individuals. And I think they must have hit it off on that front for sure. So I'm super looking forward to see what are the action items, and Prime Minister Modi, and so does Elon Musk. They always come out with no ambiguity. There are bulleted action items that come and implement and are implemented in a very, very near future. So I'm looking out for that update.
Do you believe that there could be then the entry of Elon Musk into India formally? Which of his companies do you believe could have the most profound impact and have the best potential collaboration for an Indian company?
So that is multifold. I mean, where isn't India right now? It's in every space and to Elon Musk's interest, I think, whether it's Tesla, whether it is Starlink, like my honored co-panelist just said here, we have the best space scientists, we have the best engineers here, we have the best AI talent, and not only do we have the best, we really have them in abundance. And that is what Elon Musk needs right now, in terms of scaling his business, his operations, his outreach. I do believe, though, every working person on this planet probably wants to work for Elon Musk, there isn't still enough talent to fuel his large, and greater than life visions. And I think that is what he's going to collaborate with India with.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Professor Nalpat, quickly coming back across to you now, as far as, of course, our space program is concerned as well, we've made huge strides. And do you see now with private players, interestingly, also, making moves in India, SpaceX having some sort of impact on the market? Also, do you believe that ISRO could perhaps collaborate with SpaceX? Do you see that happening?
Look, the fact of the matter is, ISRO is already collaborating with several private companies and giving them a head start, including in the global market. The reality is, Uday, we are not in an island in the middle of nowhere. We are a country which is open to migration out of the country. And if there is any block on technology or any block on activities, then people are going to migrate to other parts of the world and give them the benefit of their knowledge and technologies. So that had happened in India for several decades. But now with Make in India and Startup India and a much better ecosystem for this kind of knowledge, including by removing some of the tax and GST irritants, I think India is a very good location for startups. And I think Musk can be a force multiplier. It has to be very carefully planned out, but Musk can be a force multiplier. And the fact of the matter is, whether it's your BYD or this OpenAI, new OpenAI, with the Chinese are unveiling 5 million, which is absolutely not correct. That 5 million sits on top of about 15 and odd billion of investment that is hidden. And that 5 million is only the tip of the iceberg. So the fact of the matter is, Musk has had his technology stolen blind by China. I mean, the Chinese EVs are basically based on the models that were developed by Elon Musk. And very frankly, I mean, it's impossible that he not be aware of that. India has got a very good record in protecting proprietary secrets. Indians, whether they are Indian Americans or Indian citizens, unlike the citizens from other countries that have come and settled in the US, they have a very good record of ensuring the absence of espionage. There may be a few cases here and there, but not at all on the scale of certain other nationalities. So I would like to say that this is, as Mayurakshi has very correctly said, a very, very attractive country to invest in. And I'm sure over the next 2 or 3 years, under Modi 3.0, it's going to be made even more attractive in terms of tax and regulation. We are on the way to getting reforms done, and that way is now clear. And the Prime Minister and Finance Minister will, of course, work hard on that. So I'd like to say, Uday, I am not worried about foreign technology coming to India or foreign companies coming to India, so long as they are not a threat to security, and so long as they're not a threat to basically taking away livelihoods, especially from the underprivileged. In case we have a situation where a large company comes and they grow MSMEs, well, I think that would be a great advantage. We need a system in which large companies don't grow MSMEs in third countries, but they grow them in India. I mean, there's no point in being a large company if the only benefit you're giving is to MSMEs in some other country. You have to give benefit to MSMEs in India. I think that should be reflected in tax and incentive schemes. And I'm sure it is being done by the government, and more is probably on the anvil. So frankly, Uday, I'm not worried about this kind of entry of Musk into India. And yes, there are security concerns, but we have the protocols to deal with them. And so far as Starlink is concerned, frankly, satellite telephones, unfortunately, are used by terror and narcotics and other criminal cartels in India, and they have to be detected and they have to be destroyed, and the people who use them illegally apprehended. At the same time, people who use them legally and people who use them for productive purposes, whether it is satellite telephones or whether it is drone technology, we can be a field of huge advancements in such fields. And I'm sure that in Modi 3.0, that groundwork will be created. I can see it is being created. And as a consequence, you're going to see India become, frankly, the hub of the world where high technology manufacturing is concerned. So I'm not afraid of foreign competition. Our companies have the ability to take on the best, and because we have got talent that can take on the best. And don't forget, whether it's Google or Facebook or Hotmail or any of these, or even Elon Musk, where did they start out from? And where are they now? So I'm waiting for those Indian tigers to come. In the 1990s, you had tigers like Wipro and Infosys. Now we need a new batch of tigers, people who operate out of their garages and then grow into multi-billion dollar empires, benefiting not just India,
Yes.
but the whole world. As the Prime Minister always says, benefit the whole world.
Absolutely.
So I'm very optimistic with
Okay, but do you believe now this meeting assumes more significance because of Trump, because of Musk's position in the US government? Do you believe that influence is now being exerted as well, Adit Kothari, by him to try and get a better deal by India because of his powerful position in the US?
Look, there is no doubt that there is a conflict of interest, and with the way Trump.
And interestingly, Trump was asked that in the press conference
Yes.
on tariffs. And he said, I guess we can ask,
He's meeting in
Modi.
the capacity of a CEO.
Yes. He said we can ask Modi or Musk that particular question, but he's meeting him in the capacity of CEO who wants to do business in India.
Yeah, but if you look at the demeanor of Elon Musk ever since the elections were held, he goes into all of these high-profile meetings with his 4-year-old, meeting Prime Minister Modi with his 3 kids. So where generally the common sense that you and I would basically exhibit is that we would want to protect our little ones. We would want to shy away from putting them out in the glare of the media, etc. Elon Musk is a different character altogether. He is willing to throw his young ones into the deep end, be exposed to such high intense meetings, and which his followers on X seem to absolutely love. And he thrives on that kind of in that kind of a scenario. So Trump is a very, very different human being. He works in a very, very different way, and he seems to be doing extremely well. So from that perspective, I think the sort of bonhomie between Trump and Modi, that came into light.
Okay.
The kind of gifts that Modi basically gave to the 3 kids, showing that civilization value is very important. Yet there is a bit of fun with the kind of books that he's giving.
We'll be keeping a close eye on this. We've run out of time. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. It's time for a short break.